Hello, welcome to today's video diary for Finding My Way with Pi, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. I want to talk today about what it feels like to be what I call in the middle. I am I'm in the middle of building my dream. I'm in the middle of doing work that I love. And I think for many people, if you were to stop and ask them, hey, what work do you love doing? Or what is it that you love to do? At least in my experience, many people, including myself at one point in time, would be like, I have no idea. I don't even know what that would be, because we are so geared to be thinking in a particular pattern or in a way that, and I did this too for decades, out of necessity, I might add. So it's not a criticism, it's an acknowledgement, bringing it to awareness that, we work to earn money and support our families. And half the time, what we want to do or what we really enjoy doing just doesn't necessarily factor into that. If we're lucky enough, the work that we do can touch on some of our strengths and we're good at it, and that's fulfilling and sustaining enough for a while. But over time, we may feel a deeper calling that we want to do something that's more meaningful. But how do we even get to that? And how do we access it? And what does it look like? So I've talked about this a whole lot over the last 240 something video diaries. It really has been a theme that's surfaced on and off throughout my journey, as I have kind of been on this journey of self-discovery and healing from burnout and learning what I want to do. And so here's what I can say. That finding what I love and doing what I love has taken quite a bit of effort on my part. It is something that I have had to cultivate. It has required me taking the time to self-reflect and really understand myself and what it is I need to love. And sometimes also needing to dig deep and heal from some things that were getting in my way. So there's a lot of internal self-discovery and self-development work that comes in the form of becoming aware of what is it that you love to do, or even what is it that your heart is wanting to follow. And I know there's also a lot of factors that come into play with that. There's life circumstance, there's health, there's relationships. It's all interconnected. It is all interconnected. Also an acknowledgement. It's so important for us to do. So this is why the journey to finding what you love and following your heart is so individual. It is so individual, and no one can choose that path and design that path better than you, because you know yourself and you know your circumstances and your situation. Now, the next part I want to say about doing what you love is it doesn't happen overnight. I think it's pretty rare, actually, that someone has that instantaneous struck by lightning. I know what I love doing and I'm passionate about it and I'm gonna go get it. If you have that and you've ever had that, that is amazing. High five to you. For most of us, it doesn't necessarily come out that way. Oftentimes it comes after we've been through something that was quite painful, and maybe purpose and passion comes out of that. Or maybe it was out of a loss, or seeing a need that you really wanted to help others, and it came from that. Or maybe there is like a lifelong love of something, but it's taken cultivation. Sometimes it's you happen upon it. Maybe you thought you wanted to be a leader or a doctor or a something, and you get in it and you're like, wow, I thought I'd love this and I don't. But what I really love doing is baking. So how can I do that? Sometimes what we love, we talk ourselves out of it before we ever even get into it or consider it. And why do we talk ourselves out of it? Oh, that's a whole can of worms. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why we could talk ourselves out of it. There are voices in your head telling you you can't earn a living by doing what you love or following your dreams. There may be voices in your head that have to do with, like I discovered, being a girl or being a woman and what we can and can't do. There may be things going on like, do you deserve to be happy and do what you love? There could be all kinds of things going on for you. I had a lot of them myself and I had to work through them. It takes small steps, and it doesn't mean that you have to just jump in 150%. You could just one small thing, just start learning about it, or just start researching, or just start practicing. So I'm going to give an example of something that I love that now I'm realizing I can cultivate and grow into something more. My poetry. I used to write poetry when I was younger, and my poetry comes to me in a way that I'm just hit with it. I'm hit with the urge to write, and these rhyming verses hit my mind, and I actually describe it as they hit my heart, and I need to sit down and write and let it come out. And I enjoy the process. Sometimes I might get a little bit stuck on a word and be like, let's find some synonyms, or let's find some rhyming words with this, or what are other ways I could say this? But it all becomes this creative process, and I'm like in flow, almost like improvisation, but it's just coming out, and it comes out and it comes out, and I love it. Well, when I was younger, it never even crossed my mind to do more with my poetry. In fact, I quit writing it probably for about 2 decades while I pursued a business career in the corporate world. And I'm not saying I regret that. What I am saying is that when I got quiet enough after I hit burnout and I resigned from my job, when I got quiet enough, meaning spending time with myself, meditating, starting self-care routines to get enough sleep, like all kinds of things. It's all interconnected. My poetry started to come again. That natural love started to come again. So maybe sometimes it's just about making the space in small ways so that natural love can come. And then you can incorporate that into your day-to-day. So now, this year, since I've been doing Finding My Way with Pi, I let the poetry come. And it's been coming more and more lately. I filled up a whole book. Now I know I want to share my poetry more with the world, and I want it to be part of my life on a weekly basis. I write poetry multiple times a week, letting it flow and letting it come, and letting it grow. So those small things, it started with a small action and removing my own resistance to it so that I could see the creative and simple ways, small ways that I could let it come into my life. And then I spent time cultivating it purposefully, making sure here and there that I gave myself that space to let that flow and to let that bubble up. So, when someone says to me, what do you love? I really love writing poetry and sharing it with the world. I love using my voice and my words and my writing to help make a difference for people who need to hear what I'm talking about, because maybe they're on a healing journey of their own. Maybe they just need to see an example of someone out there who's reflecting out loud as an example, real life things, this is what's going on. And by way of that example and that vulnerability, to be able to see you're not alone. We all have thoughts and emotions and circumstances in life that we try to navigate, and we all have to figure out how and find our way. And sometimes we need time to reflect. Sometimes we need to learn different techniques. Sometimes we need to do it together. And that's really what I hope, that's the need and how I hope to serve people. Now, that is another love of mine. Poetry is an extension of it, but that is what I've discovered. Oh, that's my great love. And when I look back on my life, the fun thing about this is that I can see so many examples of how that always has been my driving force. Now I'm just putting it front and center and discovering how to build and align my life around that, to do that work. That is the work I love. Interesting to come at it in that manner, because if someone just asked you straight up, what work would you love to do? So it's almost like you have to spend time reflecting and, let it in the back door. Let it come up. Don't focus on it directly. Indirectly focus on it. Give yourself just some time and space and time for reflection and learning and exploration and curiosity. And then when the thing hooks you, that's like, oh, that is my thing, then just figure out how to cultivate more of it in your life in small ways, because we don't all start by being the end. You don't start at the end, you start at the beginning, and it takes a lot of time to get there and to build. One of my friends said, the mighty oak tree was once an acorn. Same thing for everything. So anyways, that is what I'm thinking about today, because I'm in the middle, because I've been writing poetry, I've been working on building this thing that I love, and it's small steps, it's brainstorming, it's in the messiness and in the creativity of all of it. And it's not just and we're done. It's hey, let's go through the process of this. And that is where the joy is the journey of it. Finding my way with purpose, intention, and emotion. Hey, so thanks for being with me on this journey. I am so glad that you're here, and I hope it helps you too. I'll see you tomorrow.